Hello and welcome to today's edition of Route 664, The Road to Human Kindness. I'm Les Winston. I am your host. I'm also the national spokesperson for socialsecharity.org. Social Charity is something that you can use to supplement your Social Security. You can use that to supplement your retirement income in general. And Social Charity devices are given to us by the Congress. They gave it to us in 1969. And not too many people know about them. So we're trying to educate you about Route 664. That is a road to human kindness because through that, you can do amazing things. You can provide income for yourself and your family if you want. You can reduce your taxes, and you can also do something really good for the community. And that's what Social Charity is all about. We also clarify for you some questions that we've had from the audience where we're getting, what is Social Charity actually about? How does it actually help me? So let me give you a concrete example. The Endow American Network Foundation is working with a chamber of commerce, a local chamber of commerce, to create a pooled income fund that the Chamber of Commerce can promote to its members and to its community for the purposes of endowing a new high school in a location in that chamber's region. And the benefit of the pooled income fund is people can make contributions to the pooled income fund, get tax deductions, and also get income from that device. And eventually that money would then, at the death of the income recipient, that money would go to endow that school. And that's really a valuable thing in a community, because if you have an endowment that can help support a school, you can increase the non-governmental courses that you can give. You can give specialized education in a lot of areas, and it makes it a really powerful opportunity for a school to improve themselves and make themselves into a great school. And also, safety is another feature where that endowment could be used to make the school safer, because there is a question about school safety, and a lot of it can't be most of it can't be provided, and it's not being provided essentially by the state because the tax base isn't large enough. So you have to do something to supplement that. And what we want to do is use these endowed school funds to do that. And that's under our Safe Schools, Great Schools program. And that's what the Endow American Network Foundation is supporting in order to get the schools safer and greater. And that's something that's good for everybody. One of the tools that we do use in this social charity world is a pooled income fund, which I've discussed before. And this is what we've created here in South Florida in the Aventura Sunny Isles Beach Chamber of Commerce's membership with the Endow America Network Foundation. So you can find it if you go to the asibchamber.org website, and you can find it on socialsecharity.org as well. But my next guest is, I call him the guru of pooled income funds. We have the Adventures of Charity, and this gentleman is Pificus. Anyway, here's my good friend, Dan Rice. Dan is I interviewed him earlier, and Dan is a member of the Council of Professional Philanthropic Advisors. He is a qualified professional philanthropic advisor. He does a lot of work in pooled income funds. He's really the guru of pooled income funds. And here's that interview. So we're joined now by a very good friend and mentor. We've created the characters in the Adventures of Charity. We have Charity as a superhero, and she uses the powers of three wizards: Pificus, Cratius, and Chigaro. And those powers are social charity powers. Those are the powers of social charity devices, and those are pooled income funds, charitable gift annuities, and charity remainder trusts. And pooled income funds are great. Pificus has great powers, and actually, though our illustrator Guido, he tells me that he patterned the look of Pificus after me, which I'm not really happy about. I'm going to say he actually patterned it off of Dan, because Dan is actually Pificus. That's what I figure. Dan knows more about pooled income funds than anybody that I've ever come across, and really introduced me to them at a meeting. And in fact, Dan, if you remember, the very first complex case that we worked on was where we were changing a charitable remainder trust into a pooled income fund to get a new tax deduction, and that was a pretty complex transaction, and not too many people in the country would probably know how to do that. And so I thank you for that introduction, and from there it's been a little bit easier. But you became familiar with pooled income funds a long time ago, so give us a little bit of your background, because you work with other advisors and you basically help them do this kind of work. So I didn't want to do that much of an introduction, but I figure you're worth it.
Sure. Well, the pooled income fund started at the same time that the Charitable Remainder Trust started, back in 1969. President Nixon signed them into law in the Tax Reform Act of 1969. But the Charitable Remainder Trust, as you know, live over in the code section 664, the name of your radio program.
Our Route 664, yeah.
Yeah. And then just up the street is the code section 642. And at 642C5, a dedicated parking lot is where the pooled income funds live.
Okay.
And I actually was able to create two pooled income funds at the same time for two different investment objectives at an organization called World Vision in 1983. And so that was my first time with that particular kind of charitable trust. And Conrad Teitel is the attorney that we were retaining at the time, and he set it all up for us, and off we went.
Yeah, that was Conrad is very well known in philanthropic circles as a legal guru with regard to these devices. And I assume that was a successful venture, because these pooled income funds, it's hard for them not to be successful in a sense.
And I believe that's the case, although at some point, pooled income funds were edged out in favor of more use of the Charitable Remainder Trust, especially the Unit Trust, and in particular the Net Income with Makeup Trust, the so-called NIMCRUT. Mm-hmm. And in fact, a lot of pooled income fund programs sunsetted as soon as the last income beneficiary had passed away and the remainder passed to the charity. They ended the programs. And we're down now to about 1,300 or so across the country. And it was several times that in its heyday. And they're coming back, though.
Yeah, it needs to be more. I mean, I think the knowledge, the skill level of the advisor with regard to these things, the education of the advisors to make them more aware of how these work. I was with an attorney and a CPA yesterday, and I was explaining a pooled income fund to them, and it was like I was talking, from another planet, and they looked at each other and said, "Did you learn this in your courses?" Or no, nobody has been teaching it. So one of the things we want to do, and actually you're a terrific mentor that way, is we want people to be aware that knowledge about pooled income funds can be gleaned from somebody who has the knowledge rather than having to get it yourself. So Dan is listed in, just so you're aware of it, the listening audience needs to know that Dan is one of our professional philanthropic advisors, and he's listed on our website at socialcharity.org to find an advisor. And the ways in which you can use these pooled income funds and what you can do with them is really quite remarkable. And so tell me a little bit more about your affiliation right now is the Alliance Community Foundation. Is that your primary objective right now, is to build that?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the Alliance Community Foundation? What does it do?
Well, like other community foundations, they will offer donor advised fund programs primarily. Some also add to that different kinds of endowment funds or scholarship funds. Many community foundations focus on their community. That's why the name. And they become subject matter experts on all the different charities in that community. They keep track of the ones that function with best practices, so that if an individual wants to donate to a certain kind of program or cause, the community foundation will likely know who in town is doing that work, and who does it better than anybody else, if there's a number of charities that do that. Some community foundations like ours also offer the trust services, so they'll serve as trustee of charitable remainder trust, they can serve as trustees of pooled income funds, although we don't see a lot of them out there. And to be fair to the advisor community, they often don't know about pooled income funds because it's a program that only a charitable organization can offer. And typically they offer it only to their donors. Typically they want 100% of the remainder when the pooled income fund agreement ends, and they want to manage the money. So that's not something, if I was a financial advisor, I'd spend a lot of time knowing a lot about. It's a lot like the charitable gift annuities. You won't find a lot of advisors that have done a deep dive into that because, again, for the same reason, only a charity can offer that program. Only the charity wants to be the 100% beneficiary at the end. The charity selects the investment advisors. And so there's really not a lot of space for the financial advisor to be able to operate. And in our program, we allow the advisor to manage the investments for their client, which they've already been doing before they found out about us. And so the client and the advisor are much more comfortable with that arrangement.
Yeah, makes sense.
And we also can benefit any number of charities because we function as a conduit or as a pass-through community foundation. So when the remainder comes to us at the end of the agreement, we'll put it in a donor advised fund and allow the family to distribute it that however they wish, all at once, or maybe some right now and the rest over time, and so forth.
So you're and I think that there has been a communication problem because of this concept of scarceness, where the most nonprofit organizations, sorry to say, deal on the basis of scarcity as opposed to abundance. So the abundance principle is what you operate under, that there's enough out there for everybody, and there's no reason for me to be so protective of what I'm doing that I have to have it all. And that, in that regard, you're opening up the doors to philanthropy to people to do it any way they want to, with the benefits of your guidance and management and administration. So those are important aspects. Dan Rice is an advisor to advisors and also advisor to philanthropists. And you can find him. It's a very persistent person. You can find him on our website at socialcharity.org. When you look for an advisor, Dan will be listed there. And I wanted to thank you very much for spending time with us today. I think the use of the pooled income fund and its relationship to philanthropy in general, is it because it's so underused, is that really damaging the growth of philanthropy or philanthropic wealth in the country, the charitable wealth in the country?
I don't think so. The largest charity in the world today is also one of the largest financial companies in the world today, and that's Fidelity with their charitable gift fund. Mm-hmm. And so I think their magic sauce is that their fundraisers are really financial advisors. bringing their clients to Fidelity and allowing those advisors to manage the assets. And we really took a page from that playbook, and that's how we set up Alliance Community Foundation as well. We're really not different from most community foundations. They're not trying to raise funds for themselves. They all tend to operate as conduits, managing the gifts for charitable organizations and individuals, and then resourcing charitable organizations with these grants from donor advised funds primarily, but
So
from other.
let me ask you a question. If a donor wanted to make a contribution to the XYZ City Community Foundation, and they wanted to do it in the form of a pooled income fund, and they went to them and said, well, I'd like to invest, I'd like to utilize the community foundation as a means to make my gifts in the future, but I want to do it with a pooled income fund. What would the community foundation say to them?
Well, I think you'll rarely find a community foundation that offers a pooled income fund program. I think one of the reasons why is to compare it to operating a donor advised fund. It's much more simpler to run a donor advised fund program when a charity is doing that. There's the reporting requirements are very simple. Basically, all of the accounting and all of the reporting rolls over onto the charity's tax return, that 990. Mm-hmm. With a pooled income fund, the charity now must become a trustee and truly have fiduciary responsibilities. And very few charities want to serve as trustee and have that liability, that risk. Usually they don't have the expertise on their staff to operate a charitable trust. And so I think that's why you'll rarely find a pooled income fund program at a community foundation. And as soon as the person that has all the expertise decides to leave and go across the state and join another community foundation, there goes the expertise that original community foundation once had. Mm-hmm. And so they can kind of see that happening. They understand their turnover. They understand what it really takes to run this. And the tax returns for a pooled income fund by itself, because it's separately reported on, is the same 5227 that CRTs have to file. And it's an inch thick.
Right. So there are regulatory or administrative roadblocks for a lot of nonprofit organizations, and they're not sure how to get past those.
Right. And the private foundation rules govern pooled income funds, and it's enough to handle what governs a public charity. And then add to that a body of expertise you need to have to run a private foundation.
But the thing about it is that nonprofit organizations would benefit greatly if they had pooled income funds, and so it really is on them to find out how to go about doing that, and they can consult with a professional philanthropic advisor, because professional philanthropic advisors know how to take you through the process and help you as nonprofit organizations create pooled income funds and help your donors get helped by your situation. Today the trend is not so much about the charity as it is about helping the donor as well. The donor needs to be able to get some relief as well, and that's one of the things that this does for them. Dan, thank you again for joining us today. Dan Rice, the founder, I guess you're the president and chairman of the Alliance Community Foundation. Is that? And
I sweep the floors too.
Okay. Great. Thanks a lot, Dan. Thanks for being with us on Route 664, the Road to Human Kindness. And be philanthropic out there. Learn about pooled income funds, social charity devices. They're very valuable, and you can use them to help yourself in transactions. You have to know when to use them. That's all. You have to talk to somebody who can help you. Thanks again. Joe is a very valuable resource to Aventura Sunny Isles Beach Chamber as the ambassador. And as I said, he's getting well known for his commercials that Joe knows. They're getting famous. We're going to be doing one for the Pooled Income Fund coming up shortly, because we want people to know how to use the Pooled Income Fund. What a phenomenal tool. Joe, we were talking the other day about how we're going to use safe schools, great schools to change things in our community. And you had some very good ideas about how we would approach people who want to find people who want to help us. What was your thought on that?
Yeah, what we want to do is we want to receive the input from the community. So we're going to be inviting them to come to a several meetings that we're putting together in order to find out exactly what the community thinks. And what we want to do is we're interested in building a charter high school in Sunny Isles, and the chartered high school. The reason for it is,
hold on. When you say we, you're not talking about the Aventura Sunny Isles Beach Chamber of Commerce now. You're
oh
talking
no.
That's the generic we, right?
Yeah, the we, because the we includes the members inside our chamber. Endow America, of course, is a member, and also Safe School, Great School is another member. So Safe School, Great School, and I apologize to say that it's we, but we are in this all together.
Okay.
What we are interested in doing is finding out in the community exactly the issues that may arise, because everyone does have issues. And most of the issues we'd like to see arise is exactly how we can improve the model so that we could, in fact, build a charter high school in a community where, unfortunately, we do not have a high school. So our young adults...
You're talking about Sunny Isles Beach specifically, right? And you're also your intent is to find people in the community who believe that they need a high school, and if people don't think they need a high school, why don't they think they need a high school? Is that pretty much what you're about?
Yeah, and then of course there's other issues.
Like what?
Well, if we had a charter high school, how would that be better than a public high school? Or we're thinking of sending.
Charter high schools are public high schools. They're just they're not operated by the Dade County School Board, but they're operated under the charter of the Dade County School Board, and they are public. In other words, they're funded by the public. They're not private in any way.
Absolutely, but we have to be there to answer those questions, and of course, every question is a very, very important question. As well, every objection is a very, very important objection. We need to let the community know the truth of these issues, and then dispel any mystery or fiction.
Okay, good. That's what I think that's the right approach that you're taking. And these, where will they find out information about these meetings that you're going to be holding?
Well, we will be publishing them, of course, and we will be we will continue to email those that are on our list. We're interested in expanding our list. We want to find all the members in the community who may have an issue or just a casual question, such as, well, how is this configuration differ from the standard public school, and how would that be an improvement? Many questions we're interested in helping answer, which, by the way, the key to it is that you as a resident, you as a co-owner, let's say, you influence the curriculum.
In other words, the people in the community will have some influence on the curriculum of a charter school, in addition to what the public school would ordinarily give. I think I don't want to paraphrase for you, but I am. So the other thing that you're working on now, I know, is a membership drive. So how's that going?
It's coming along. It is a struggle, I have to be honest with you.
Are you trying to build more good citizens right now? Find good citizens in the community that
absolutely. You know, it's one of the components of being a member of ASIB that's unique, and that is that you do not have to own a business in order to be a member. Yeah, we are looking for good citizens. In our community, there's a lot of people who have resettled into the area. Right. Maybe they've sold their business or they've retired. They do have a voice, and we'd like to know what that voice has for the benefit of the rest of the community. So, yeah,
so people
good citizen is.
Speak.
Yeah.
These will be like town hall meetings you're going to hold so that people get an opportunity to speak out, and you can answer questions. And I assume that format will help you find out whether or not the community actually wants to accept the idea of a school in Sunny Isles Beach, a high school in Sunny Isles Beach, to serve the students in Sunny Isles Beach. Okay, so Joe, I know that we'll hear more from you about these two things: the membership drive and also the about the school meetings. And so, how do people, if people want to join as a good citizen, what do they do?
They can visit our website,
Okay.
asib.org. I'm sorry, asibchamber.org.
asibchamber.org. Okay.
Yeah. Or
And
hey, you can call me directly.
how much? What's your telephone number, Joe?
786-991-4889.
Give it again.
786-991-4889.
Okay. And what does it cost to become a good citizen member of the chamber?
It's $150.
And what is that entitled to the people to do?
That entitles them to all the benefits of being a member of the Aventura Sunny Isle Beach Chamber of Commerce. If they do have a pet project, they're entitled to cataloging and credentialing just as a business member. And that would be through the website that we have. Yeah. And please, for those of you who are listening, please do look at the directory to look at the businesses in the area. It's a fantastic platform. That platform that we offer, the value is far more than the standard business membership. By the way, the business membership is $350 a year. All right. And the platform, as I say, please check it out, because that which is available through our platform, credentialing and cataloging, would be far more expensive than what it is that's being offered through asibchamber.org.
Okay, great. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate your time this morning. Joe Gabris, the ambassador for the Aventura Sunny Isles Beach Chamber of Commerce. And we'll talk to you again next week, Joe. Hopefully there'll be an update on everything we've been discussing. And
Beautiful.
This is Route 664, the Road to Human Kindness. I am your host, Les Winston, and happy that you joined me today to listen to the presentation earlier with Dan Rice, and also to learn more about the Aventura Sunny Isles Beach Chamber of Commerce. We'll see you again next week. Have a great week.